Now, with wildfire smoke choking the region, air quality is hazardous, conditions that are putting everyone at risk.
Absolutely. Northern News Now's Kyrie Johnson spoke with local health experts today who confirmed that they're seeing an increased number of patients coming in for smoke-related illnesses. What advice do they have for folks, Kyrie?
Yeah, Laura and Dan, health experts say this is not something that you can simply tough out. Even minutes to hours of exposure can trigger short-term symptoms, and longer exposure over a day or two can increase the risk of very serious problems. Wildfire smoke is turning the sky hazy and the air dangerous to breathe.
Everyone is at risk when we get to this level of wildfire pollution.
Doctors say now is the time to limit your activity.
These particles are so small, they go into our lungs and are absorbed directly into our bloodstream. So they affect every organ in our body, but especially the heart and lungs and brain.
Short-term symptoms can show up in minutes, and longer exposure can raise the risk of serious health problems. Since Wednesday, Essentia has treated 14 patients for smoke-related illness, and Aspire St. Luke's has treated several as well.
We've never experienced this level of repeated smoke exposure on a population level. The closest thing we have is looking at firefighters. They have higher risks of stroke, heart attack, dementia.
Some local organizations are sharing tips too.
We put out a post. It's one way in which in a household, somebody that may be experiencing some poor indoor air quality can kind of hack a solution for creating a filter.
A simple filter on a box fan, but without it, the consequences keep growing.
It's like equivalent of smoking 20 to 30 cigarettes in a day. It's an incredible amount of smoke exposure.
Especially in places like Lincoln Park, where health disparities persist and many older homes lack AC.
And it is those individuals that disproportionately have asthma or cardiovascular problems that will be feeling the smoke more and could kick off greater health crises.
Which is why they say it's not just about protecting yourself.
Do that type of wellness check. Check in on your sibling or your friend and really kind of use this opportunity to care for each other.
They also suggest wearing an N95 mask to help block some of the harmful particles from getting into your lungs. Live in studio, Kyrie Johnson, Northern News Now.